Check it on.
And thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. This is your Straight Talk Drive 5 show. It is Thursday. It is Success 101. And I am featuring Sabrina Weber, a young Caymanian who is at the DOE. She is one part of the response team for the stony coral tissue loss disease. We were just talking about her journey to that point and how she thought she wanted to be a nurse, and then she figured out she didn't want to do that. And she's been in this marine field for a very long time, and so, of course, the full circle, it just kind of reaches you. So, Sabrina, thank you so much for joining me this
Yeah,
afternoon.
thank you so much for having me.
And so much so that you led someone to ask you questions about the corals and the Cayman waters and what the plans are. And I'm seeing you like you're handling it like a pro.
Thank you.
Well, you were teaching too, because you said you had to prepare stuff and you were in
Yeah,
Mexico.
I did a lot of lecturing as well, and this is something I end up talking about a lot.
Good stuff.
So yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. And speaking of that, then, so let's just a little recap for the listeners that might have just tuned in, because we're going to talk about this Coral Fest that you put together, right? Or you came up with the idea, right,
Yeah.
for this reason. But let's talk a little bit about your background. So you went to, all of your schooling was in Cayman, Grace Christian Academy, prep, back to Grace, and then Cayman International School, and then you went to Canada and you went to university there. That was where Queen's University.
Queen's University, yeah, in
Okay.
Kingston, Ontario.
Okay.
Very cold.
Okay. And you went there and you graduated with an environmental science degree.
Yeah.
Your undergraduate.
Yes.
And that was last year. That was in the midst of COVID, right?
Yes.
2020.
Yeah, I moved home just before the COVID pandemic started.
Okay.
Yeah.
So were you able to walk and all that? You did all your graduation
No,
stuff?
I didn't.
Ah.
No, unfortunately not. Yeah, I ended up taking one more course online. That took me until June 2020. But I was planning on going away in September to do my master's. So.
Okay, but you were involved with competitive swimming as a young person as well,
Yeah.
right? So how long did you do that? From when to when?
I think I did about 7 years. I think I started when I was 10, 11, and then I took a bit of a break at one point for 2 years, and then I started back again, and I finished when I was about 16.
Okay, and have you been swimming, like competing in different places outside of Cayman as well?
Yeah, I went to Jamaica one time. We went to the States one time for a competition, and then mostly the competitions here.
Yeah.
So it was a really nice swimming community here. I was at Stingray, and then I actually went to Seaback in Commander Bay
Okay.
afterwards.
So why did you stop competitively swimming?
Oh, so that's a story. But
Okay.
I actually ended up having knee surgery.
Okay.
I was on, it was a fun story, but I was on a school trip to Costa Rica,
Okay.
and I was water rafting, and we jumped out of the boats, and I jumped out and landed right on a rock.
Oh no.
Yeah, so then I ended up getting dragged to shore, but the water was really gross, and they disinfected my knee and everything, but they didn't give me oral antibiotics. And we flew back here the next day,
Okay.
but it was severely infected.
Oh wow.
I had a couple of surgeries to get rid of that, and I'm absolutely fine.
Yeah.
I'm making it sound dramatic. I could have continued swimming, but it just seems like a good
Sounded
break.
dramatic. You got dragged to shore.
Yeah, I had my friend who was a hero. But yeah, and it just felt like a good time to stop swimming and I focused more on school.
Yeah. So that was a good thing for you.
Yeah, it was good.
And then you kind of made a decision that, yeah, you'd want to go into marine biology.
Yeah, I always loved the ocean. So I was diving from the age of 13, and then I continued my diving career.
Okay. Now, who would you say kind of inspires you or inspired you along the way?
Inspired me along the way.
Yeah.
I haven't actually thought of that one.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I guess I've found that with all of these experiences that I've had, so going to Mexico with Operation Wallacea, even going to South Africa with that company, and CCMI, meeting all the amazing people that I did, I'm just always inspired by like the women and men around me. It ends up being a lot of women,
Yeah.
and I've met some of my best friends through these programs because you're all living together and working together every day, and I've just the kinds of people I've met have been so on my level and interested in the same things as me,
Yeah.
but all so passionate about the same topics and all really trying to advance their careers. So it's amazing. My one friend who I just met in the Book Man has gone away to do her PhD right now, and so she's a bit of an inspiration of like where you could go
Yeah.
as well. So it's quite interesting, and it's also you're making amazing connections
Right.
through these things. People that I would love to work with again, and who I know are very good in this field at a number of things, and good at field work and underwater and everything. Is all is a
Yeah.
part of it.
So what would you say, what would you, tell a young person who is, maybe they're 14, 15, they haven't finished high school yet, and, they're just kind of trying to, figure out what they want to do. What would you tell them? Like, what would be some advice that you give
Yeah,
them?
I say try everything.
Yeah.
I've tried a lot of different things. I, like you said, I wanted to go into nursing at the beginning, so I did an internship at the hospital. I did internships at the Marriott with the HR department. I did a number of different things. At one point, I thought I wanted to be a lawyer. I just was all over the map, but there's so many opportunities here.
Yeah.
So you can really reach out and try to get experience in some of these different fields. And if I hadn't done that, I wouldn't have known what the field was for me. It sounds corny. A lot of people say it, but you have to try like and see what you don't like before you see what you do like.
Okay, and that sounded really easy what you said, and I'd say the same thing. But you're a young person, so I want to hear it from you. How did you go about making those connections? How did you go about getting into those places to get those internship opportunities? Because I say it all the time to young people: listen, just call, talk to people.
Yeah.
Maybe your parents can help you facilitate it. But I'm older, so they might think, yeah, you don't understand. How would you? What would you say to them?
I think it was those similar things
Yeah.
though. My mom has always been very supportive and almost a bit much sometimes, but she's always shoving opportunities my way and trying to get me more
Moms are always
involved.
a big much.
Yeah.
We want you to succeed.
Sorry, mom, if you're watching. Um, and yeah, teachers were very helpful along the way, and then it was just really like keeping my eye out for things.
Right.
So any of like the different mentorships that pop up and any of the competitions, I really try to apply for a lot of different things. But then at university, there were so many more options. So there was a club for every single thing you could be interested in. I
Right.
was in Ocean Sustainability Club, and we organized a Ocean Sustainability Conference, which that was really cool. So we had a bunch of different speakers come, and I got some event planning experience and met more people in the field that I was in.
Right.
So yeah, it's really, I think it's just trying to see what's out there. I know that's not much of a concrete answer.
It's a great answer, though. It's saying, look around. Always,
Mhm.
your eyes are always open for opportunities. Stay ready. Like, the new saying is stay ready so you don't have to get
Yeah,
ready.
and even opportunities may be sent to your school, but not directed towards you. So you
Right.
could check in, let your counselors know what you're interested in, tell your
Right.
teachers know what you're interested in,
Yeah.
and then they're gonna try and direct things your way as well, which is great. So
Yeah, yeah. That's the thing about, being a young person is that you're busy having fun in your moment and enjoying your life and hanging out with your kids. And hang out with your friends, sorry. And you're not really paying attention to grown up stuff because you're like, I'm trying to have fun. But you're growing up. So you're going to have to balance it out somehow, right? Because if you're not doing that, then you're not setting yourself up for success.
yeah,
So that's kind of like, you know, making sure you're kind of balancing it out. Like you said, letting the adults in your life know what you're interested in. So when they hear the opportunity, they think right away, oh, you know what? Joe might be interested in that because he said he likes that, or Mary might. You know what I mean? So I think like that's really some good advice. Now, uh, you saw a gap in the project that you're working on, right? The Skittle, you call it?
Skittle, yeah,
Skittle D, and the Skittle, I can do a rap off of that.
yeah, it's a fun name.
It is, right? And then, and when it came to public outreach, and then you decided to pitch an idea. You pitched this idea for the fest. And I want to ask you about some of the other things that you think you might want to do for Canaan. But yeah, what is this Coral Fest? And let's talk about that.
Yeah, so Coral Fest is an event we're running through the Department of Environment. So like you mentioned, the Stony Coral Tissue Loss Response Team strain push tissue loss disease response team. Even I'm getting tongue tied.
Right.
Is
Say
hosting.
that 3 times.
Yeah, I know. Skilledy is hosting this event, and so basically the idea came because we've been really trying to communicate the issues of Skilledy, and it's spread around Grand Cayman, and trying to get people to disinfect their dive gear, their boat bilges, and trying to get them to appreciate our reefs, how they look right now. But it's very difficult to describe coral disease to people who don't know much about corals.
Right.
As you saw, I tried to explain it before. It's a lot more complicated than we think. So we wanted to have a festival that appreciates corals and gives you a base knowledge of corals. And there's so many different organizations here who all have their foot in coral restoration in some sort of way, but maybe their company does something different, but everything kind of plays back into coral reefs. So we have a number of different organizations being a part of this festival as well, and that was the aim. All talking about what they do, and then all linking it back to corals. So we've got the National Trust involved, we've got the Department of Tourism involved, we've got CCMI, we've got Amplify Cayman, so many different organizations that think this idea is cool and are passionate about the same issues, and they're going to talk about what they do in relation to corals. So it's happening on November 6th at the Grand Cayman, so it's known as the Holiday Inn Hotel,
Right.
by the golf course. And it's an all-day event. It's family friendly. It's all ages, and there's going to be things for everyone. And so we're just encouraging everyone to come out and to learn a bit about corals, and then learn about Skittle D as well. Once you feel that you have this base knowledge about corals and have learned about different specific aspects of corals. So we'll have some booths run by us that are talking about the disease and what we're doing to mitigate the impacts of the disease as the Department of Environment, and then the ways that you can benefit the situation as well.
Right.
So it should be beneficial to everyone.
Nice.
And yeah, there'll be tons of prizes and things, which is very exciting. We've got gift certificates from the Kimpton, from Camana Bay, staycation from the Grand Cayman. We've got boat trips and dive trips and all sorts.
Lots of family fun.
Lots of family fun. There'll be games. We're trying to make every booth interactive. There's even a reading corner for the kids. So there'll be some story time sessions, and there'll be books featured that are all about like the ocean and ocean conservation. So, and yeah, there's a bar as well for the adults. It should be a really fun time. And we've been working really, really hard on this event for a couple of months now, and we're just really trying to get people excited about corals and learn about them in a fun way.
Yeah, so it's next Saturday, not this one.
Not this Saturday, yeah.
Of November.
Next Saturday from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Sounds nice. All right, so that's good stuff. Yeah, that's good stuff. And obviously, it's very informational. And if you want to learn about more about coral and what's going on with them and stuff, and in a fun way, let's see who's involved.
Yeah, exactly. And also we're doing, I forgot to mention, student poster competition. So that's due on Friday if you want to submit a poster. But it's from ages 11 to 18. So we've got a lot of submissions already, which is great.
Okay.
But kids are encouraged to submit a poster about Skittle D and what the coral reefs here mean to them.
Yeah.
And so there's some big prizes for the kids available as well. And then we're going to feature the finalists at the event who can vote on the posters and see which one's their favorite. So we're trying to get the kids involved as well. That's kind of how the idea started. Some of the schools were reaching out to us wanting to do an event or wanting to partner with us in some way because they thought the project that we were working on was interesting. And so then it kind of sparked the idea of Coral Fest.
Yeah. Yeah, and you mentioned earlier, event planning. So you had become involved with event planning, and here you are able to use this, for something like this.
Yeah.
So it's really good when you get the experiences all around that you never know when you're going to use them, but they come in so handy.
Exactly. I actually, when I was at university, I was quite involved with the drama department, funnily enough. So I did a lot of planning for them.
Yeah.
Those were pretty big productions, and I did anything from costumes to backstage work to eventually planning the technical side of things and helping to produce the shows.
Okay.
So that was a lot of planning. And then, yeah, the working with the Ocean Sustainability Conference was great. So every opportunity like that, I've learned something more, and I like to think that it's set me up for success
Yeah.
and for doing what I am now. But yeah, this is just another thing
Yeah.
to help me along the way.
Yeah.
So it's definitely been a learning experience. I've never planned something on this scale. And I've got like a couple of great event partners, and so we're all working on it together, and that's great. And then
Yeah.
our whole team has been really supportive. They're all going to be running different booths as well, so
Right.
that's pretty awesome. So it's really great that the Department of Environment is backing us on this
Yeah.
and has given us the opportunity to hold an event like this. Because
Yeah.
otherwise, I don't know when I would have done something like
Good
this.
stuff.
So,
I'm sure they're very happy about this event as well. Like they probably hadn't thought of it. And that's what I love about, doing this show too, where I get to bring young people and talk about your success, talk about your journey, but also your brains are amazing and they have so many new ideas. I just think we all need to be embracing each other on different levels. Like, I might have some information that you might not have, but you have information that I don't have because your era. I mean, you guys, you can figure stuff out. Man, I have like the 5-year-old nephew, 8-year-old nephew that can do stuff on the phone and the iPad that I can't even imagine. So I love that. I love the brilliance, kind of coming together and just making this world a better place for all of us and sustainable.
yes, yeah,
That's a
the
good
key.
word,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
sustainable.
And so
Yeah.
you're with the DOE, but it's a temporary position. So how did that happen?
Yeah, so I got the position in May. They actually, the project had started in June, and so they had some full time DOE staff working on the project, and they also had a number of volunteers. So a lot of people were going out several times a week, maybe every day a week, to work on this project, which is pretty amazing. Just volunteering their time, and then eventually the Department of Environment got enough funding to be able to hire a team that's fully dedicated to working on this project because they saw it as a priority. And now that they've hired their team, we just have really like gotten the handle on things and we've just been able to be pretty efficient and all been pretty passionate about the project. So we're
Right.
trying to find ways to be more strategic in our efforts and come up with ways to make the project better and try new research and different things like that. So I think that was the goal behind hiring the team. But yeah, I started with them in May and my contract was meant to go until November, but it's been extended. And then I think it will follow into the new year.
Okay.
So yeah, it's been great. I just wanted to get some research experience and to be doing what I love here in
Right.
the meantime of waiting to go and do my master's. So this is the perfect position,
Right.
and I've been really excited by it. But I do still plan on going away to study. So I want to go away in September. I'm thinking
Next year?
Next
Okay.
year. Yeah.
And you're gonna study your master's in, is it marine biology?
Yes, marine biology.
So you want to be a marine biologist, basically.
Yes, yeah. I don't know exactly what I would like to go into. There's a bunch of different aspects of it that you can focus on.
Right.
I would like to go into like conservation and research work, but I don't know what I don't know if I'll continue on with corals or if I'll focus on something else. Sponges are pretty cool.
We're an island, so we got a lot of stuff to
Yeah.
focus on, yeah. So what are some of the things that you think that you might want to do here also? Like what are some other areas that you might want to uncover or work with?
I don't know actually.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't. I've worked with CCMI here. I've worked with DOE. I haven't worked with Guy Harvey's. I've volunteered with them before, but there's not too many marine-focused organizations here. So I think, if when I come back, maybe another option would be to try and start up your own project or do your own thing.
Right. That's what I was asking.
Oh yeah.
Really. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, because I was also looking at the bio, and you mentioned something about is it fish survey or something like that?
Yes.
What's that? What does
Yeah.
that mean? And what tell us about that?
I know people find that funny actually. So you're counting fish.
Okay.
So I did a lot of that with CCMI, and then I did that with the DOE as well. So basically, a lot of the times there'll be these surveys that need to be done periodically. We're looking at fish species diversity and abundance and size changes. And so I will go down with a slate. So you can write underwater. So you'll have like a clipboard and you can have waterproof paper, or you can
Okay.
have a specific slate
Okay.
that you can write on underwater. And then you just bring a pencil
Okay.
and you can record your data underwater. So usually we'll have the different species of fish listed, and we actually have a measuring tape, so we call it a transect line.
Okay.
And you tie the measuring tape to a piece of dead rock,
Okay.
or sorry, dead coral or rock, and you'll carry it along with you, depending on the research method that you're using. You may do 20 meters for a transect, and you may look to either side, maybe 2 meters to either side and 2 meters up from where you are, and then you're going to record the different fish species that you see. So maybe you'll be looking at all the fish, maybe you'll be looking at a specific family of fish species. Yeah, and you'll just record the fish. But I do enjoy the fish surveys, but I prefer my coral.
Okay.
The coral don't move.
No, well,
The
yeah.
fish move. It's a bit more difficult, but it is fun.
It's interesting because I know the last couple of times that I've gone to the beach, I just remember like these fish like surrounding your feet, and they keep coming back to you. I don't know why they're attracted to like I'm in the water with a couple of people, but they keep coming back to my feet, and they're like you feel them like nipping at your
Yeah,
feet, and I'm like, what's going on? And they're not scared. Of course, when you move, they're running out of the place, but then they'll come back, and I just think that is so interesting. Like, what is that?
I know.
So yeah, but they do move.
Yeah, they do. They're
Yeah,
probably eating away at like skin and things, but
probably. That's what I'm saying. I was thinking. I'm like, what are you doing? And it's kind of scary, Because
yeah,
it's like, no, no, get out of here. Because if you were a
definitely.
big fish, I would not want you nipping at my
No.
feet.
The funny thing is, I like if I'm just floating in the water or at the beach and there's things coming around. Like I won't. I mean, I wouldn't be scared of like little things, but if I did see anything big, it does freak you out a bit. But when
Yeah.
you're scuba diving, um,
Are you
and
not afraid
oh,
then?
not afraid at all. A
Why?
lot less. Like I would be a lot less afraid scuba diving if I saw anything dangerous than if I was snorkeling.
Why?
You just feel a part of their environment,
Oh wow.
and they
Okay.
know you're not prey.
Ah,
So if you see a shark or something,
it's just going by you.
yeah, they're usually curious
Probably have a
like
heart
what
attack
is
in
this
that water.
thing. But if you're snorkeling, it's more intimidating. You don't see what's around you, but I mean, there's not anything really that's going to hurt you here.
Okay.
So I don't mean to dissuade anyone from snorkeling.
Okay.
Snorkeling's amazing.
Yeah.
You definitely should.
Of course, right. Well, thank you so much, Sabrina, for coming on the show, for talking to us about, your story. I mean, you gave us so much more than I generally get on Thursdays. You talk so much about the work that you do with the Stony Coral Tissue Loss Disease
Yes.
team. Very passionate about that. You gave a plug for the Coral Fest is coming up next week, Saturday, the 6th of November from 11 to 5 at the Grand Canyon, which was formerly the Holiday Inn Hotel, and lots of family fun and just information about the coral. So it's really been a joy having you and the bonus stuff that you brought, But congratulations on all of your success and wish you, more success. Obviously, success is not something that just comes. It doesn't just fall in your lap. It takes a thought, doesn't it? It takes you kind of figuring it out along the way. And like you said, trying new things and putting your feet and your hands in a couple of things and going, okay, this feels okay, this feels okay, but you know what, this feels right. And that, I think, is really the whole point of trying to highlight you young people, and ushering you through. So I'm very, very proud of you guys, and just keep doing that. Keep doing that. And thank you so much for joining me this afternoon.
Thank you so much for having me, and thank you guys for listening.
Yeah, that has been Sabrina Weber. She is at the DOE currently. She's a part of the Stony Coral Tissue Loss Disease Response Team. and they're actually doing a coral festival. It's called the Coral Fest, and it will be next week Saturday. And yeah, she has her degree in environmental science, and she's looking forward to pursuing a master's degree sometime in the future. And are you one of? You said there's a lot more women in the field. You think?
There are. There's lots of women in this field. It's
Okay.
quite inspiring.
Oh yeah, and you're going to work in your bathing suit.
True. Yeah, that is part of the job.
Yeah, but that's funny. I didn't think that there'd be like a lot of women, but yeah, that's interesting. But yeah, so whatever it is that you're putting your mind to, I'm sure that you can do it. And for all my listeners, of course, keep encouraging your children, keep encouraging yourself that whatever you want to do, success looks different for everybody. It can look like you're swimming around in an ocean, given antibiotics to coral, and that actually is a thing. And we didn't know
I
that.
know.
So thanks for sharing that with us. Well, you guys, we've come to the end of our show this afternoon. Went over a little bit. Thank you so much for riding along with us. You have a great evening, and we shall talk again. Monday, it will be Medical Monday, and we'll be back in the studio. Have a great weekend when it comes, and take care of yourself.